Welcome to our podcast.
It is Klaus
Kross.
and KONVOS.
Yeah.
What's up, my brother?
I'm all right, man. Good to be back.
Yeah, good to be back. I'm super excited. This week has been full of lots and lots of political news. Like, it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like I was saying before we came on live, right?
Yeah.
Before election, Trump was dominating the news.
Yeah,
After elections, it feels like every day something about Trump.
Trump. Yeah, like Trump is a one of a kind candidate. He's
Yep.
one of a kind. Like you can't. Trump is different.
Now that
Like,
you say that,
I was watching the America First
the
Works,
dinner,
the
right?
America First Works dinner, and Sylvester Stallone was talking about Trump.
Dude, we think too much, all right? I didn't even know that guy was on this side because he was in public.
Yeah, he wasn't. The way he spoke about Trump, he said like Trump is like this mythological
Yeah,
character like this.
George
that
Washington,
he's
right.
bigger than life.
Well,
And
you can't suddenly appear in that dinner if you didn't have a personal relationship.
relationship,
So you
yes.
can imagine, again, I know eventually they were comparing billionaires. Kamala had about 90 or 100
Yeah,
supporting, Trump had 50. But imagine the other millionaires and all these people who never made
Never
the
made
news.
themselves, yes, public. And
It's-
which is what I think most people should do.
Yeah.
You should keep your political opinions to
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
and let it play out in the
Unless
public
you're
scheme.
people like us.
Yes, unless you're political commentators
Exactly,
or pundits,
right?
'cause
Nobody-
that's what you do for
Yep.
work.
Yeah.
And so, but all these celebrities coming to
Yeah.
show themselves, it doesn't make sense. And that's how we found out that Kamala Harris paid all the celebrities
Yeah.
to
Including
to
a
endorse him.
billionaire
Including
such
a
as
billion-
Oprah.
Oprah,
Like,
yeah, it
that's
was-
really disappointing.
Yeah, that's really. But we'll get into it in this and I am particularly excited about Trump's cabinet picks. The media is going crazy. Some of the
Bruh.
congressmen are
Your
going
favorite
crazy.
lady, Joy, the one without joy.
Yeah, the Sadness Reed. Oh yeah.
She called it Trump is filling up the clown car. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
so
it's crazy.
Wow,
Like,
wow.
I can't really stand
Most people can't actually.
yeah, she's and did you hear the news that MSNBCs are up for sale? And I heard the Daily Wire boss.
But you mentioned it before the show, and I said it must be some trolling. You think it's true?
Yeah, because I think they're trying. Daily Wire is trying to expand and be.
But I
bigger,
don't think
so-
that would be. Well, I'm not.
But
that
if they
much-
buy it over, they can make it into whatever they want it to be. But
No,
if
I understand that. But
because
how many people are watching legacy TV now or
no,
satellite?
no, but that's the thing. Legacy TV, in my opinion, is not all out. It can still be revived, and people still. If we get this popular podcast,
Right.
and
Oh,
popular-
start doing their
and
shows.
start doing their
and
shows on
have
popular TV and
contracts
have
to stream
contracts
the-
with them.
Oh,
Those things will
wow.
beef it
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
because those are the people that people want to hear from now.
That's actually true.
And so it's because
So it's
this is not all the
bringing-
creative.
okay.
Like all the
Right.
people in our business, what they rely on is like maybe channels like YouTube and all
Yeah.
these things. And some of them have been able to grow to the point where they build out their own platforms. But
Right.
it's still you have to get to a level of
But that's
popularity to do
true.
it.
That's really true.
So with this kind of
Yeah.
sale, and if they get access to this kind of things, it will help them do a lot of things. But that's pretty much the things that we want to talk about today. So today we're going to start with discussing about the Kamala celebrity endorsements and how much each person was paid and things that
I
happened.
mean,
with their-
definitely. I mean, we can totally start with that. The fact that they spent $1 billion, the first time in history that ever happened, and then ended up $20 million in debt.
in debt, yeah.
But now people are beginning to find out Oprah was paid $1 million, and she flat out denied she didn't get paid a penny that her company was. So I'm wondering, if you paid my company, my business $1 million, was
You're
that
in the-
not me
It's
making?
definitely, because if you pay my company, that means I get to make some money from it.
I don't
It's my
even
company.
I
My
don't even
company is-
understand the
The
logic.
logic behind saying it's not, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, Elon doesn't have 300 billion in
Billion
his account,
accounts,
but
like, yeah.
that's his net worth,
Net worth, yes.
and it's built around his company.
Company,
right?
yeah,
So
period.
to say I wasn't paid, I
Paid.
don't even get the gist.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like you got paid.
Exactly.
Because usually when you interview people, do you get them to pay for the sets? Do you get them to pay for interviewing them?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Imagine that man. What's his name? The Reverend.
Al
How do you make a donation and then come back on your network to be interviewed? That's real.
And it's okay that you made a donation to a non-profit, but you should, if you're interviewing the person and you're trying to gain public trust, you should make that public. You should tell us, oh, and she donated this to my public.
Yeah.
It should be made public.
Someone else should
That's
have
one of the rules
interviewed
of someone else, because it's a conflict of interest.
Exactly.
So someone else could have interviewed her and done all those things.
You can't I mean, if you do that with us, you say, okay, I'm sending you guys 10,000 or 20,000 donation to support your podcast. And right after you say, I'm okay coming on your show.
Sure.
And for some reason you think, oh,
I'm gonna be biased. Like,
bro, just make sure you hold that check first, do the interview, and decide if you're still interested
in giving us that check. True, I agree with that.
Bruh, it's not happening.
I'm not gonna be easy on you. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. Is my job.
That's what brought us to where we are today.
Because
all these people
voices needed to be heard. Because people were just messing up in all this.
They were all compromised. All this legacy TV. That's what brought us to where we are in America. So we're not about to
Yeah, it's really crazy.
So yeah, it's definitely a scandal.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people in the media and you know, out there are trying to blame different sets of people for Kamala's failure of in winning this election. But I just think the failure lies in Kamala. Kamala failed because Kamala was a bad
candidate, right?
It's that simple. You can say whatever else. Like in every failure, there's a primary reason why something failed, and there might be secondary reasons. But the primary reason is the main reason. And Kamala is the primary reason why the Kamala campaign failed.
I've heard arguments though, but honestly, my opinion is a bit different from what everybody's talking about. Let's use a Joe Biden, for example.
Yeah.
That man never showed up in any campaigns. Even when he did, there were 5-10 people there.
Yeah.
They were hiding him. And then if you look at the stats of this election, there are 15 million votes missing that the graph can't even say where it came from, right? So, but everybody's saying he legitimately won because they're looking at the polls. People wanted normalcy and everything. So the argument is people took these polls and he was way ahead of Trump. So now you're backing it up. So if Joe Biden, in my take, he's a worse candidate than Kamala. This man we saw him falling. We saw him couldn't make sentences. The media hit it. Why did he win? So in my thought, I'm agreeing that one person could be a bad candidate, but there could be other factors that just help play in, just move from, like we say in Nigeria, fry pan to fire.
I can agree with that, but you know, Joe Biden already had a track record.
Yeah, we thought he was a moderate.
He was a good politician for a couple of years. He was able to make bipartisan deals and stuff. So people already knew Joe Biden. All his life has been in politics.
Yeah, 50 years.
And so people already know him and know what he's like, what his politics is like.
So they kind of banked on his
his prior politics to do that. So that could be an argument that I would make. But the thing is, Kamala has never been a successful politician.
But she's been in politics for over 20 years.
Even if she's
but no name recognition.
That's what I'm saying. Because she's not done anything very...
And she lost when she had their own primary.
She had no
substance to run on.
No substance, yes. Nothing to run on.
I mean, the thing she could run on
her approval rating as a vice president was
the lowest,
ever. So she never had any of those things. And one of the things, you say you're a presidential candidate, you couldn't answer any questions. You couldn't differentiate yourself from the current government. And you couldn't do any of those things.
Don't get me wrong. I think overall she was a bad
She was the
candidate.
primary reason why she was the campaign failed.
If you put a really good candidate, 100 and whatever days she had, they would have been able to,
with $1 billion.
Exactly.
With $1 billion.
She had.
Do you know how much the Trump campaign spent? And the Trump campaign had more than a year to campaign. And they spent about 400 million. And you spent $1 billion in 170. How can you tell me, like, there's no comparison to that?
I think they laundered the money.
The money was laundered.
It's not just
and
payment.
that is exactly to show you how she would have run the U.S. government.
That's a problem.
It would have been a big problem. So I think these things are exposing how bad a candidate Kamala was.
And there's a lot of things that have come to light from exposing that celebrities shouldn't be involved, exposing the legacy media and, their allies, dismissing what people were actually telling you was going on, and everybody ignored it. There are a lot of factors, even cultural war that's been going on for years.
For years.
Parents showed up and said, we're not going to have this anymore.
Yeah.
And now the whole finger pointing, it could be this, and some are blaming
Yeah, there's a lot
Biden.
of pointing fingers. And look at people like Oprah, who preaches integrity and all. Like,
Well,
her
please.
quote was, "We are voting for values and integrity. We are voting for healing over hate." And yet he collected 1 million. How does that show you have values and integrity?
But she had to build that studio bar.
She had to build a studio.
What happened to
Are
our
they
other
trying to-
studios?
like, thank you.
Okay.
So Apple Productions doesn't have any other studio that they needed 1 million to build it. And which studio? You saw the studio, right?
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
that thing cost 1 million to build.
Come on.
Come on, horror.
Yeah, why did she change her? What was that?
She was screaming at us.
It was a cringe moment, though. That night, I was like, why is she... Was her first interview for a presidential candidate?
Oprah is not a journalist.
Right.
Oprah she's an entertainer. She's a talk show host. And a talk show host is different from a journalist.
Yeah.
Because a journalist asks critical questions and able to... I know when she had a run with her show, she was successful. She was pretty, but she's not a journalist. She's a talk show host that could ask some good questions sometimes and can use emotions and stuff to entertain people. She was more of an entertainer than a journalist. And so, like, you can imagine putting an Oprah and a Megyn Kelly to interview somebody. They are two... Yeah, they are two different people.
in two separate different
They are two different
professions,
worlds.
right?
Yeah, it's just you can't. It's not comparable.
So
And some other people that I heard were paid was Beyonce. Beyonce was
Has
paid
she confirmed?
10 million. She hasn't confirmed. She hasn't made any. And the Beyonce team, they will never make any statements.
But when I first heard that people got paid, right? What crossed my mind was, wait a second, do they do this in Nigeria? Then I remember they actually do.
They actually do, yeah.
But the difference is you pay Nigerian performers to come perform at your rally,
yes.
but not to endorse.
Not to endorse, yes. They can come perform
but
at
what
your-
these people did was endorsement, making it feel like they knew what was best for the country.
Yeah.
This is why you should vote for this person.
Mhm.
If you were just being paid to do your thing, help pull the crowd here for me to talk, it's completely different,
Actually, Megan Thee Stallion performed. And I heard she was paid 5 million. So
Wow.
maybe that's justifiable.
I need to do more of my music.
I guess so.
Because at this stage, I can perform at a Libra concert and come do my conservative
Shows, yes. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, you need me. You need what?
Yes, I could give
It's
you...
like saying you're in IT.
I will also give you my music to come on
Exactly,
stage like
yeah.
Beyonce did. Maybe that's what the 10 million was for. For all the times Kamala came on stage and used her freedom song. Maybe that's what the 10 million was
What
for.
was that?
Because I'm still waiting for the Beyonce team to make a statement about it.
Heck no.
so that we
That's
can
one
see.
thing she and Jay-Z are very good at.
Well, we'll see that. Then Candace Owens tweeted about this and asked Cardi B to... Were you paid for the endorsement on Twitter? We're going to show a picture of that while I'm talking. So you're going to see a picture of that. And Cardi B responded, "I didn't get paid $1. You damn well know I can argue you down about politics for free."
Mm.
And she said she even paid for... She took the cost of her travel and everything,
Mhm.
and the glam and the clothes and everything, because she's what she believed in. That was her response. And according to Candace said, "I actually believe her, but that actually shows how small of a mind that she has, because if you didn't get paid and others got paid, that means..."
Well, I don't understand. Candice is beefing her now for not getting paid.
Yeah, but if
Which
others
one?
collected, though, you should have collected too now.
I don't understand. That one I'm not even going to back. Like, one hand we say they shouldn't have been paid. Now we're saying, why didn't you get paid? Like, seriously?
I don't know, but that's like, if you watch that, then there's a quote from this Republican strategist. It said, "Money can buy you love or a good candidate." So no matter how much money you had and no matter how much...
Are they sure money can buy love? Because
I don't think money can buy
in a
them.
political sense, I agree, but money can purchase a lot of things, including love, my brother.
I would say, this is how I usually put it, and I've said this for so many years. Money can regulate the amount of love you get. Because if I have money and I tell you to do this, you're going to do it for the money. You can regulate the amount of love you get, but that doesn't mean you have
I'm
got it.
sorry. I didn't see regulation in it.
Oh, yeah.
So you can turn it up and turn it
or
up.
turn it down. Yes.
I get to see your point,
No, but that's the
actually.
truth. It can regulate the amount of love you get. But it will not buy it, but it will regulate it. So if I need more love, you pay more, I give you more love.
Right.
Even with married people,
Yeah.
if you buy your wife a gift, she'll be very nice, cook you the nice whatever, massage your feet, do all the beautiful things.
Yeah.
If the money is flowing,
It
but when the
definitely
money is
can
not
regulate
flowing,
it, right?
there'll be some arguments.
So,
there'll be some,
your point is the love has to be there first of
First
all,
of all,
which money
cannot
couldn't
buy. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
But even if the love is not there, and you want to get some love,
You can get money.
you can
buy
money can
affection,
get that
right,
affect.
right,
That's
right.
yes. So that's the regulation. You can turn it up
Yeah.
and down, and yeah. So that's what I think.
I like that analogy.
That's what I think money can do.
Yeah.
But it can buy you the love. And then
Right.
the guy also said, the Brad Todd, he says advertising matters, but it doesn't help if the message doesn't resonate.
Yeah, it's
And
like dressing a pig. It's a
Yeah,
pig.
it's
Like
a pig is a pig.
whether you give, that's why her defeat is really so bizarre. If you spent like 100 million, they'll be like, well, she didn't have a lot of money, a lot of time.
Yeah.
How do you have 1 billion and have been in power for 4 years and lose? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
people have
you
gone
got the
to
wrong
war.
messaging. It's terrible though.
Yep.
I don't think. I think this is a lesson for celebrities to keep their mouth shut.
Bro, that's never
Act
gonna
good
happen.
movies, sing good songs, and shut the fuck up. Yeah,
That's never gonna happen.
and now we see people like Taylor Swift. You have no power. Your only power is to sing about sad love songs.
But that's because
and get the little
conservative
girls to dance to them, and that's it.
conservatives have started taking their man. Trump has really changed.
Trump
this
he's changed the
Do
trajectory
you
of
remember
this woke culture.
8 years ago when there was just you couldn't dare say anything there was this political correctness.
The
And this
cancel
guy-
culture, that was when the
Yeah.
cancel culture was
and
big.
this guy
He
just
tore it down. Tore
And
down
now
legacy media,
that's
tore
why-
down the woke
that's
culture.
why regular girls could go against Taylor.
Yeah.
In those days,
Taylor is final.
anything she said,
It's fine.
all conservative would just keep quiet. But when I saw the
You
trend
can
on
imagine
Twitter,
how she when she almost
on-
ruined Kanye's career because she was that powerful.
yeah,
But
the
now
young girls went against her, started doing videos even with her song for Trump. That was
I remember
mad.
how the beehive goes.
Yeah.
When you go against
Exactly.
their so-called queen.
Now
Now they're ineffective. We've been rendered.
but maybe that's also because the young girls are still living with parents. Some of them have gotten degrees. They can't find jobs.
Yeah.
You know, they're facing
They are
reality.
facing
now.
reality,
Yeah.
yes. Because it's no longer because then the parents will buy them tickets
Yeah.
and they can cry and make all this
It's
noise
true.
and get the tickets.
8
But now
years ago, if you added 8 years to whoever was 12 years or 14, now they are voting age.
yes.
So they can tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, because this is
Yeah,
not it's not
it's not-
working.
yeah,
Whatever you're
real-
doing
yeah,
there is
it's
not working.
true.
And I need to live well. And
Yeah.
For me to live well, the economy has to be good. Inflation has to be down.
Let's talk about the picks, the nomination Trump is
Oh yeah,
making so far.
the transitions. That will be. So far, Trump has nominated a couple of people, but there are a couple that are quite controversial. I think one of the most controversial of all the picks is the pick for the Secretary of Defense, Peter Hegseth,
and then Matt Gaetz.
the Attorney General of the United States. I think they are the most whatever. But the truth is, I cannot see why Trump is speaking the kind of people he's speaking, because he wants to like use his favorite word, drain the swamp, and he's speaking people that are core MAGA supporters, but at the same time people who are loyal and are competent.
Even Bobby Kennedy is making headway.
Yeah, he's making a lot of
They
headways.
feel like
HHS
they
secretary.
feel like because he's always attacked their, they have science and we have truth.
Truths, yeah.
Because if we were going by science, then Fauci and everybody who shut dissent down.
But I like to put it in this way. They have this. They don't have science.
But that's what they
What
said.
they have
That's what-
captured science.
Yeah.
Is a capture.
It's no longer what they
Because it's
have
no longer
in the
it's not
definition
true
of science is
yeah.
no longer science
It's
because
a capture of science.
science is not absolute. You're
Yes.
supposed to be able to
It
question
evolves.
it.
You
Yeah,
question
you
it.
know,
You question. Yeah.
you say this is what you found. I'll tell you this is what I found, and we
we
argue
go
it
through
out.
tests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It goes through a process. Yeah.
but so they're also attacking the guy because they said he is against the status quo, everything that currently exists. So the Peter Hexat, I mean, I understand because I knew him from TV. When I first saw Kellyanne mention it on Instagram the day before I saw it on TV, I was like,
TV, yeah.
wait, isn't that the anchor? I
They
went
are
on
the-
his page, I'm like, this is the anchor.
Yeah.
Only to find out he's definitely he's a decorated
He's
veteran.
a decorated
Yeah.
veteran.
So
Like he's a former Army National Guard officer.
mhm.
He's also a Fox News commentator, and he's has
Right.
spoken about his desires to reform the Pentagon's
Right.
bureaucratic culture.
Guy has 2 bronze.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He has,
So when I hear stuff like you're not,
and he's been in the military for over 21 years.
but this is what I'm saying. When I hear anchors say stuff like people who have no experience, I'm wondering, isn't the actual service the experience you need?
Yeah. Because what else do you need?
Exactly. It's like telling someone who was a waiter in a restaurant and now they're appointed to run a restaurant. You say they have no experience in the business. Waiting on people, you didn't have to be the chef. You didn't have to
No.
be the GM.
No.
You have experience in that business.
In that business, yes.
So you can't tell someone who served multiple tours and say they don't have. Are you joking? And I enjoy the fact that they are outsiders.
And you
don't
know,
give me people who's been in there all this time
Yes.
trying to fix the same.
And one of the things about Peter Hexat, he wrote a book. And in his book, he did like a thorough research, interviewing different people in the military,
Mhm.
the book is about the work culture in the military. And he was interviewing several people, and he got these opinions from people who are currently in the
Mhm.
military, and how disgruntled a lot of them are, and how fearful a lot of them. They said
Mhm.
most of the things that most of them said is that we are stepping on eggshells.
Right.
Like they are being careful because this is what the bureaucrats want.
What is the truth?
And so he has a lot of opinions, and let's watch his opinion on reforming the military.
So there's a chance to course correct it, but it would take the new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, it's got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it, and that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, I don't know, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
I don't see anything.
I don't see anything
what-
wrong with
I
that.
mean, I know there are other segments to that interview, but we do know in the past 4 years, the people signing up for the military, you see the ads. There was one I saw like a year or so ago. Maybe we'll look for some of them
Some
and
of
then
them, yeah.
just play for. It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe this was an ad for military. I
Navy?
can't remember if it was for the Navy or the Army. I was like, what is this? Are people? Oh, again, you're supposed to be appealing to young men,
yeah.
and this is what you're doing. It's insane.
It's insane. Yeah, I think you made a good point. In maybe in the next episode, we'll see
Right.
some military ads or
Yeah.
Navy ads and see and analyze them and see.
Yeah.
And so there was another point that he raised in that interview, which was very that I really liked, where he talked about women in military
Yeah,
and how he's not
a fan of them being in combat roles.
combat roles. Yes, he's not saying they shouldn't be in military in other roles. There's a lot of other roles that female can do really well in.
Right.
And he talked about some research that was done to see if military men will be in military, and
Right.
that the bureaucrats, the people in power at the time, which was particularly Obama was in power at the time, they didn't even consider the
impact it will have.
impact of the research that they did. They just said, no, make it happen. Make
Right.
more women in happen. So let's play a clip of what he had to, his response to that.
The reason women started getting in combat is because of forward support companies, and they were, we were integrating a lot of the rear echelon activities into BCTs, brigade combat teams, that were now deploying forward as an entity. And so you had women truck drivers or fuel or mechanics on these convoys in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then they'd be ambushed or hit by IEDs, and suddenly now you have women in combat. That's maybe a modern reality in a 360 battlefield. That's different than intentionally saying, we're going to put women into combat roles so they will do the combat jobs of men, knowing that we've changed the standards in putting them there, which means you've changed the capability of that unit. And if you say you haven't, you're a liar, because everybody knows between bone density and lung capacity and muscle strength, men and women are just different. And so if you want to, I'm okay with the idea that you maintain the standards where they are for everybody. And if there's some, hard charging female that meets that standard, great, cool, join the infantry battalion. But that is not what's happened.
Yeah.
What has happened is the standards have lowered, because the general comes by and asks a question. You know what questions are when generals ask questions. They're just a command. Lieutenant or captain or major, why aren't there more women in your unit? That means get some more women in your unit now. And that moves all the way through the training pipeline. And so I'm surprised there hasn't been more blowback on that already in the book, because I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. Most of them actually are, a lot of them are pushed, I shouldn't say most, but many are pushed into a combat track because they're so highly capable. But if they had their first choice, it probably wouldn't be that. An 11 series job, armor or infantry. So, the Marine Corps did the study, and integrated units, meaning male, female, did drastically worse than all-male units. And Ray Mabus, who was the Secretary of the Navy in 2015, said, oh, fuck your study. We're doing it.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's insane.
And the media just brings out sound bites. And
What this just remind me of is this affirmative
affirmative action.
Yes, that's the same thing
pretty,
they do.
It's pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing, yes.
Because you say, oh, we need to get in 10 black students, 5 Chinese,
Yeah.
Yeah, so whether or not they
They
meet
meet the standard, you
it
just
doesn't
have
matter.
it's a quota.
It's a quota, right?
Yeah, so you have to meet the
That's
quota.
really messed up.
And what does that do? It reduces the capability of the military. We're no longer that respected military because the capability is not there, because the standards are not there, and that's what affirmative action does.
Wow.
And people think affirmative action helped black people or helped. No, it actually made it worse, because you are no longer admitted on merit.
Yep.
You are
It's
just
not a
admitted
merit
because
based.
it's a
Yep.
quota.
It's not a merit-based. And
yeah.
why a specific race would ever want that for themselves? It just, I never see Asians asking for affirmative. It's always our black people, get their merit. But some other people are saying, oh, by the time are you telling me if you were picking 10 students into a school, you're telling me there's not one black kid
Yeah.
that performs at the same level as the white and Asian?
Then-
That's what you're saying.
But also push them to get to that level. Push them to get to that level. Because what does it do? It makes people know, oh, I don't even have to be at that level. I can get in because there's an affirmative action. There's a quota. I have to get in. And now what they do is people who merit those positions are taken out because they have to meet a quota.
Yeah.
So if this number of people get in, oh no, we can't admit any more of this race.
You know what this reminds me of? It happened to me in real life. My first job in my current field, I'm just not gonna say it.
Yeah.
When I first started, I had an interview. I was working in a completely different industry, and then I switched to this, took a course. No, I think I was already, I went back to college. So I was in that field going to school, but I wasn't done. But basically, the requirement of getting this role had to do with just a high school diploma. So it was an edge for me.
Yeah.
But guess what happened? When I started, the guy who was training me never really liked me, right? But he had to train me anyways. And eventually we started getting along.
Yeah.
An opening came up that was higher than, I mean, both of us are in the same position, but
Mm.
he makes more money, he's been there longer, has more experience. And I said I was going to apply for it. And he said, why would you do that? I was like, you're not qualified. I was like, when has qualification ever stopped someone from, I'm just going to apply. So I applied. The first one that came up, I didn't get it. But guess what? I was preferred by the head of the department, but other folks chose someone.
Yeah, because
So-
you are
exactly,
He had
right?
a quota to meet.
Bro, so the next time I interviewed for another role, I actually, the man who was going to hire me showed me the results from the other guys. The me they thought I wasn't qualified did better than those who came from outside and within.
It's within, yeah.
So I felt really good that I passed.
Mm.
But in terms of the actual job, none of us had the experience because
True.
so he said, because of your knowledge and your personality, and we're willing to train you. Do you know what this white dude said to me? He was like, of course you got it because you're black. So what hit me was, I had an edge because there was a training I was doing outside work that nobody knew about. So that helped me in my interview. But the fact that another human being could hate on me because they thought this is affirmative action on the job. You just stole the hard work I was doing because there is
because
this
they believe there's this idea
Exactly.
and that's what they put out and
That's really terrible.
and you know the left always says that the right is being divisive, but they are actually the ones who causing most of the division because they don't come to common sense solutions.
Yes. Do you realize
All their solutions are separating and separating.
Someone is now thinking you don't really deserve it, but they gave it to you because you're black. And I worked hard for that.
Yes.
I worked hard. I was even doing a certification with Harvard at the time. Like I was working hard. And this guy just dismissed all my hard work and says because you're black.
It's because
I
you're
was like,
black, yeah. It's
holy
crazy.
moly.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so that's definitely, imagine all the women. Oh, shoot. I think we have to hit that again. So imagine all the women. Now, let's take a country. I mean, this is my argument. Take a country like Israel, for example.
yeah.
They're male and female. Everybody has to fight.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the population we
we
do.
have, yes.
So, but they're also seen as one of the best military in the world. So you can imagine for people who have to defend, I mean, they are literally fighting for their existence every day.
Every day, yeah.
So I can guarantee the women there, the kind of training they go to cannot be
they cannot be, you know, they cannot be compromised.
Exactly.
It has to be top notch.
Their cases, they have no choice
Than to.
But ours, when you have to reduce the standard just so you can get women in and meet a quota, or so you can,
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
I don't see any. I mean, this man has experience for defense secretary. I think he's gonna be amazing.
I think he's gonna be amazing.
I mean, as long as they let him pass through, right?
And like Mr. said something. He said the Pentagon needs to be reminded that it serves the American people, not the bureaucracy.
Those
it's the American people.
Where they know the ones that made Trump's life hell. Yeah. You give a direct order to a general and the man refused, and he's talking about it on TV.
Yeah.
That's treason.
Yeah.
Again, I hope Matt Gaetz, when he's confirmed and all these guys, I hope there's actual, because all these years we've come to believe and accept that there's a different laws for Democrats and for Republicans. Hillary never had to face a jury for destroying evidence. That is literally a crime.
It's a crime.
Then you raided Trump's house for keeping a former president who had access to those classified information.
And had they whatever to declassify them.
Exactly. So you can't keep, now when you come into power, I know people keep saying, oh, for unity. No, this is not vengeance. This is making sure everybody's held to the same rule of law and standard. Yeah. So if there is anybody in the military, again, that broke, I mean, you're involved in securing our nation, right? There are things they shouldn't just let go by because we're here for unity, right? I mean, I know someone who used to say, if the government ever comes against you, because if they want something, they will find
they will find a way to get it.
And guess what? None of us is as clean as we think.
Oh, no.
So
there must be some loophole somewhere.
Bro, everybody, like, I knew a pastor once who said, you're sitting in church today not because you were the holiest. There's someone who's doing time for the same thing you did.
You did, yes.
So when I say things like this, I'm usually very cautious because while I'm saying
I told you the story of the guy that was released in prison in my church.
No.
That
from jail?
Yes, that he was put in prison, the Black American guy, put in prison because he stole something. I think it was less than think he said it was $17 at the time. He had previous crimes that he's
Right.
done that they didn't put him in jail for. And this time he was just stealing.
So
And he was there for almost 30 years.
no
He was
way.
sentenced to life in prison, life actually, but he eventually got parole and he was released at 30 years. He's like in his 60s right now.
No way.
Yeah. But there are a lot of people who have stolen way more than that and they are living.
I mean, those in California who had all they had to steal is less than
It's
9.
less than 950, yes.
Those ones must be like,
Well,
wow.
let's look at what Sadness Reed had to say about Peter Hagsett.
The former and future president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he changes his mind and fires them all. Moments ago, Trump announced that he has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Hegseth, to serve as Secretary of Defense, because why not?
Wow.
It's crazy.
So he's filling up his clown.
Clown car, yeah.
Do you know that there was someone in the Biden admin that stole a suitcase? There was some weird.
Yeah, the guy that steals suitcases of women's clothes. We'll show a picture of him.
Is there suitcases?
Suitcases, not once. He didn't steal one.
Oh, that wasn't his first time.
No, he stole suitcases of women's clothes.
So the guy's
Big
salary.
bald head thing.
I didn't know it was. But I just know it was in the admin. And you're talking about clown car. Like, everybody's not going to agree with what you pick, but it's the president's prerogative. This is why he
And
won.
this is his cabinet. You got
Exactly.
I like what the new Speaker of the House, the new majority Speaker of the House.
Are you talking about Senate?
No, of the House.
The House.
Of the Senate.
Okay,
yes.
Senate,
The
right.
majority leader of the Senate.
What's his name again?
John Turnn.
Yeah.
John Turnn. He said, we have to do what is necessary to give Donald Trump what he wants.
Yeah.
The people have given him a mandate and he's choosing a cabinet that he wants to work with. We have to do everything within our power to get him in power. Follow the due processes and make sure that we get these people in their roles.
But again, this is politics. Again, it happens if Democrats had won, Republicans who were in the minority would complain about the picks.
Yeah.
And then the Democrats would, give Biden what he wants anyway, So I just hope that in the past, we've always seen Republicans once a Republican president, then they start their infighting. We're saying this is not it. Your time is done. This is MAGA. Give our guy what he said he
said he
needs.
wants, yes. And so we're done with Peter Hagsett. I think he's qualified and I think I love him and I think that's the kind of person I want to be Secretary of Defense because it will make me feel safe.
Yep.
And the Matt Gaetz guy, their problem is that Matt Gaetz has always been very outspoken.
Yeah.
He's a congressman from Florida. He's very outspoken about his support for MAGA.
Right.
And sometime in the past, I think during the Trump admin, he had a case that they were investigation. Some has
But
to do
that's
with
because
sexual.
but that's because this guy, the former speaker that he ousted, he made that move that removed McCarthy.
Yeah.
The McCarthy, people feel like he was, why would you make the ethics committee, go against? But here's the thing they don't understand, Matt Gaetz. He's not really liked by both Republicans and Democrats. And I understand why. MAGA didn't have a lot of MAGA people. They felt they were like Trump, they were disruptors. And these are the swamp we're always talking about. They wanted business as usual. And he said, why are we going to war? Why are we doing this? They didn't like that. So I can understand why. But if this is who Trump wants, this guy is perfect for the job, in my opinion, because he's coming to do the same thing Kennedy's going to do in HHS, which is just redo the whole justice system.
Yeah. And why in the justice system, a president needs someone who is also loyal as well. And this guy is his loyalty to Trump is undeniable.
Can you even separate that? What do they mean when they say we need someone who's loyal to the country? So I should bring someone who doesn't like to
Support
work
my
on-
agenda.
Yes. But who did they vote for? It was my agenda.
It was my agenda they voted for.
So I don't get it. It
So
doesn't even
if
make
I
sense.
want to bring somebody, I have to bring somebody who supports my agenda because that's what people voted for. And
doesn't
they
even
keep
make sense.
they keep forgetting that this is a mandate. We gave this guy a mandate.
You're the one
That means
calling it.
No, but it is.
Bruh, you're the one calling it a
have no
mandate.
option. It's a mandate. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college.
Have you not seen the shadow government? You've not seen it on the news?
What about the?
Oh shoot, shadow government. There was someone in Congress, I
Really?
believe. Was it Congress? Yeah. Giving a whole speech, assigning positions, cabinet too. That is a shadow of what Trump is doing. Yeah. I've never seen anything. You know, this Democrat, they don't learn.
No.
Literally calling, he'll say, if this Secretary of State, this is our own Secretary of State on TV.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the video. It's insane when you see it. And I said, isn't this against the law? I couldn't even know.
It's crazy.
I couldn't understand the idea behind it.
They are having a big issue about Matt Gaines, but you guys confirmed Merrick Garland.
Oh, please. That's why I just told you. Everybody will complain about the next party's pick. It's just, this is what happens in this phase. That's why you see Trump is not even tweeting and insulting people, because by now he understands.
Oh yes.
Say all you want. Let me make sure
still
John
Tune gives
right.
me
exactly.
my people. Let's see a video of Matt Gaines. I love this guy, no doubt.
I've made it a living hell for the swamp rats, and many of them are retiring now. In fact, CNN just ran an article blaming me for their departures. You are welcome, Mullen. You see, when I offer these critiques that include the conduct of some fellow Republicans, I catch a lot of heat. Don't get me wrong, I'd prefer to just fight the Democrats. But if the Republicans are going to dress up like Democrats in drag, then I will lead the fight against them too.
That's exactly the point we're
That's
just
why,
making.
yeah, that's
That's why he's not liked.
It's
And
not liked.
if your goal is to be liked by everybody, then
you will not get the job done.
You're definitely not doing the right thing.
Yes.
Because you're pleasing people instead of having a belief system. So
I like. Let me be honest with you. And in his role, he's going to oversee federal law enforcement. That means all the FBI, CIA, all those federal law enforcement. And I think that is perfect.
Yeah.
This kind of person who doesn't take sides, but does the job.
Yep.
Whether you're a Republican, whether you are a Democrat, if you mess up, I'm coming for you. I think that's the right person for the job. And Judge Conway said, the perfect attorney general for Donald Trump, an ideal fit, given his loyalty and his own legal history. Because, you know, the Justice Department has come after him.
Oh, yeah.
But they couldn't bring any charges because they didn't have any proof. And so I think this is the perfect. Then the guys at CNN, Elliot Williams, said this is not a serious speak and undermines the credibility of the role. I disagree with you. I think he's perfect for the role.
Coming from CNN.
We gave Trump a mandate, and I think his speak is also supports our mandate. So that's pretty good for me. I'm pretty happy about this. So what else did we want to talk about today? Wanted to talk about, you know, Biden, Sleepy Joe, invited Donald to the
thing that was making the news, right? It was the fact that everybody kept saying the guy was so happy.
He was, but didn't you see? Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video because I came ready for you. I came ready for you.
Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much. And politics is tough. And it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today. And I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it can get. And I very much appreciate that, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Yes. Democrat, their politics is a religion.
I think he voted for Trump. Then look at the picture of he took with Trump and his wife.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like I couldn't believe that
was the same woman who wore red on election day.
On election day.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how they are smiling.
Oh, she's wearing red again now.
It's red and pink, yeah. But see how they are smiling. And you tell me these people didn't.
I think they're happy to go. Did you just say you're telling me?
Wow, you can't tell me these people didn't vote for Trump. Did you see when Kamala and or Kamala, whatever they said we don't pronounce
they will correct.
Yeah, they will correct you.
Yeah.
Did you see when Kamala and Jill met at the event? Did you see how Jill
Kamala caught that, but the liberal media didn't show it.
Yeah.
But it was all over the internet.
It's gonna. I'm gonna show you a bit of it.
They didn't even make any eye contact, so it's real.
Oh yes. And you are telling me these people didn't
And
vote
G
for
won't
Trump?
let them. If that, I know there's that thing was floating last week when they said they want him to resign or and make Kamala the first.
Fair, like
Jill
it's
over her dead body.
dead body. Nah, Jill will not let that happen.
Yeah, my
She will
husband
not
will
let that
serve
happen.
till the day.
See how he's all smelled and stuff. And you tell me this guy didn't vote for Trump.
No, I think he's just
Sure,
happy.
he wore the MAGA hat. He
Yeah,
also wore the MAGA.
but he's
Joe
great.
Biden hates Kamala. I can promise you that.
I think the guy's tired. 4 years.
He's tired, but he's also so happy that Kamala is not in that seat.
No, that is a fact.
Because Kamala tried to give him a
I
key.
think what's happening to Biden with Kamala is what happened with Obama and Biden.
Yeah.
You work with this person and know they're incompetent.
Yeah.
For some reason, you're like, yeah, this is not, I don't want this person to follow me. They will just, that's what's happening.
Yeah. So it's really, Biden is so happy to have Trump back, and I think he's happy about Trump. I think they are. Yeah. So well,
What did Jake Tapper have to say about it?
Jake Tapper said something about it, right? He said
yeah.
This meeting represents a critical step towards healing divisions,
I don't understand.
even if symbolic. Then the New York Times said the meeting is seen as a testament to the resilience of democratic traditions, even under strain.
Was it not supposed to happen?
Trump, you know what they're saying? Trump didn't do that in the last.
Yeah, but it wasn't going to stop. American democracy is secured from every angle. One man cannot just
stop.
That's why when you start saying dictator, it
doesn't
the U.S.
Yeah.
There are laws in place where military will walk in and grab you.
I understand why Trump didn't invite Biden to the White House during his administration.
There were lawsuits. There were
lawsuits
in
in place.
10, 15 million votes now.
And I agree the election was stolen.
Bro, that election was rigged.
Yes.
I'm from a country where we knew rigging.
We understand rigging.
Election was rigged.
COVID was also an opportunity for them to.
That was what they jumped on. Who voted? Please, people should. We kept saying after the election, who voted for Biden? Even in Connecticut, where I was at the time, I couldn't find one Biden voter. What are you telling me?
I still believe today that the election was.
It was. I'm supposed to trust what legacy media or the government?
I
the
still
deep
think,
state who wanted Trump out.
Yeah,
I should.
I still believe it was. I still believe it wasn't pure. I'm sorry if you guys.
Why
don't
do I have to apologize? It's free speech.
It's free speech.
I'm gonna make my argument. You make your argument. When he won against Hillary, they all kept saying he was a legitimate.
They say it was a Russian hoax.
Yeah,
and all
wasn't
these
it
things.
a legitimate president?
And you have a right to contest an election. Yes, it's a.
People can say what they or how they feel about a certain candidate. The same way Republicans can come back and say you stole it. It's freedom of speech. It's not against the law to say
you stole it.
You didn't win free and fair.
And they say we don't have proof. Yeah, but you guys don't want us to have the proof because
exactly.
You hide everything.
What Democrats are capable of. If people knew what these people are capable of, you would stop thinking this world is just as plain as you say it.
But anyway, I like that the Biden is making the moves to have this transition smoothly. Because we gave this man a mandate. You don't have an option. You got to do it.
Right.
And I'm so happy about that. And then I think it's a good step in the right direction. And I think like Trump said, I always say this, and whenever I pray my prayers, I pray it. I say, success will unite us. So all the people crying and all the people killing themselves and shaving their heads. Do you see all those videos on social media? People shaving their heads and people saying they are doing the 4B movement and all those stuff. You guys shouldn't worry. Success will unite us. And I have a very dedicated leftist friend from California who sends me videos and tapes and sound bites of different.
Oh, that one hasn't blocked you yet?
Oh, no, he hasn't. He's dedicated to convincing me and showing me that.
Oh, our guy is not true.
We made the bad decision.
Then we need such people.
And I'm convincing him that this is a bad decision. And he said, oh, anytime we talk about the things that are interesting, that he's going to start watching the podcast because of that, because he wants to.
No, but I actually like it. What conservatives have always been about is having an open dialogue, right?
And
so show me. But what I was also going to tell you is you keep thinking success will unite us. No, our economy, everything was great for 4 years until COVID happened. They didn't let it go. They impeached this man twice.
But this
Trump
time
now knows. I hope he knows for his sake. You're not trying to please the Democrat.
No.
do what's in America's best interest.
Yeah.
Make sure you pass laws, because if it's just executive orders, the next person that takes over from you, if it's a Democrat, they will reverse it.
Yes.
So do things that will be long lasting and be for the overall good of our country.
Yeah.
But to think that, oh, I have to do it so we have unity. No, those who are going to eventually come over, they would. But to think that they will like you because you're making, they will get angry. They would even deny that America prospered under you.
I agree.
I've seen it happen. They don't care. They don't like you. They don't like
They don't like you. They don't like you. I agree.
I mean, when people are did you see the news where someone, a psychiatrist said, because someone voted against your interest, you don't have to do
Be on the
Thanksgiving with them.
Thanksgiving
This we're talking about family.
And they say they don't cause division. And yet you have this kind of
You're
views on
talking
TV.
about family. So if people like this can talk about people from the same family, they say no. If they voted for Trump, don't invite them, don't be around them. You think it's Trump, who has no relation, they are going to now like because the country succeeds? They don't care.
And even Sonny Hostin agreed to that. That's
Of course. They don't care. There's something blackened about their mind that is really, I'm sorry. Just live your life when you're dealing with Democrat. Do your best, but make sure you do what's in your interest and the interest of whoever company, organization, or country you're serving. If you think what you're doing is to cause don't.
because those guys are not ready to.
People who are telling you families should not be together for Thanksgiving because they voted differently. What do you think of such people?
I like how pissed you are today. I'm always the pissed one, but today you're pissed.
Because I say this thing, like we always say in this show, right? We are first Christians.
Yes.
So when you start doing things that are anti-God, anti-Christ, I'm wondering, like, what do you believe in? At the end of the day, politics is gonna go away.
It's gonna go away.
Serious?
Yeah, are you serious? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But we are winning, and that's the most important thing. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, we like to remind people that we are Christians.
Yeah.
And if you are out there and you're a Christian, this is the time to pray. I keep telling you guys that.
Yep.
Don't stop praying. This is the time to pray and
Yep.
really talk to people in your environment. Because the world is ours. We must
Yeah.
take charge of it.
Yep.
Don't hold back how you feel.
No,
don't
don't.
hold back the truth. You must speak the truth.
Yep.
You must be angry like my brother today and
That's fair.
speak the truth to people.
Fair.
Don't hold back. You know, we're just about how you and your neighbors, how you spoke about certain
Yeah.
things. And he was very open about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's my guy. Because we gotta talk.
And
we can't keep
because-
quiet.
is it true?
Because we kept quiet for too long, and that's why things
Yes.
messed up.
That-
That's why this woke culture is taking over.
Yes.
Because
They-
we kept quiet.
they
And the
kept
Bible
saying-
said, evil prevails when good men do
Yeah.
nothing.
So they kept telling us, oh no, be tolerant. We thought, I mean, Americans thought they were being tolerant. They were attacking white people. They said, oh, just let them be. Don't say, only to realize that now they're coming for your kids.
Yeah.
They can't, with these people, there's no line they won't cross.
Yeah, there's no
So-
compromise.
Exactly. So always speak the truth. It's okay being the only person saying
Saying
it.
the truth. Yeah.
It's okay. Just say it.
Yeah. And you know, when you say it's okay, you know what comes to my mind?
No.
The road to heaven is narrow.
Yeah.
It's very few people.
Yeah.
And the other way is wild. So the way that seemeth right unto a man is wild, but you gotta speak the truth.
God is God. Like, dude is dishing out scriptures,
Yeah,
right?
because
there.
you know,
Yeah.
we gotta
I love
represent.
it.
We gotta
Again,
represent.
it's who we are. When you press us, that's what
Comes out. Yes, when you press me
alright,
like
yes.
this, it's the word that is coming.
What were you
dishing
expecting
it
to come out? Yeah.
Exactly what were you expecting to come out. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm super excited. I really enjoyed today's conversation.
Me too, man.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And I'm super excited at how you guys are supporting us. Please
Right.
keep it up. Keep supporting us. Keep following us on social media. You know where to find us. It's
Yep.
KONVOS Uncensored
Uncensored.
on all platforms. And you know, if you want to follow my brother, it's I am T Kross on
Yep.
all platforms. And if you want to follow me, it's Klaus Kross, because we post personal things
Yes.
too. And so I'm super excited at how far we're coming. And you guys just please comment, send us questions, ask questions. And if there are things you want us to discuss and touch on, you can also talk to us about that.
Right.
And then we are willing to do that. But just keep it coming, keep supporting us, and keep sharing with your friends and family, because these words need to get out there
Yep.
for people to really get this message and get in touch with it. So I'm super excited. But see you guys next time. And
See you out.